Hey Steven, how's it going, man?
Hey man, I'm good. How you doing?
Good, good. Now, where are you right now?
I'm in my office slash book place because my wife told me to get the books out of our house, so I ended up putting them in here.
There you
So
go. Okay.
a few doors down from my house. So we live like three doors down from the church building. So
And
yep.
that's in New Orleans, right? Where are you at in New Orleans exactly?
So in New Orleans, we're in Bywater, Upper Ninth Ward. So if you've ever been to the French Quarter before, we're about a mile and a half downriver from there.
Okay.
Off St. Cloud Avenue. So basically, pretty close to the heart of downtown, but kind of a little bit of a nestled away, kind of laid back neighborhood down the road. Yeah.
Um, how's your family doing through all of this? How are the girls? How's Morgan? How are you?
Yeah. So family's actually doing pretty well. The girls are doing online school. They've taken it out really well. I mean, they're pretty happy kids anyway, to be honest. So right now we're spending a lot of good time together. Honestly, it's kind of slowed down a little bit as a family because we had to, and going on walks together, playing games at the house, and enjoying kind of the extra time together. My wife is an introvert by nature, so like she's mostly fine. Just the last few days, she's like, we should do something with people. So I'm doing like honeydews around the house and doing dishes all the time. So she's very happy with all that. I'm doing good. I'm an extrovert by nature, so like I'm probably struggling the most just because I want to be out with people. I
Right.
want to be seeing the folks in our church, and so we're still doing well. It's just a strange time for all of us, especially here in the city. Things are so different than they were just several weeks ago. So overall, the family's in a good place, but we're like everyone else, just kind of navigating new realities and rhythms, but doing good and trusting the Lord's at work.
Yeah.
And
Well, how we see New Orleans in the news a lot. Uh, we're in Bossier in Shreveport, and I things have to be a lot different here than they are there. Um, what's the city looking like right now? How's this stuff impacted you guys? And yeah, just that.
yeah, no, that's a good question. We've been a hot spot like on the news. I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, Governor Edwards, said Louisiana had the highest per capita rate in the world for cases that were coming online, and so it's been pretty strange. If you've ever been to New Orleans, it's a very lively city, very relational city. Usually, you go out and just people everywhere engaging in conversation. And really, even I think the beauty of the city is the people and the community. And so the last several weeks, for the most part, things are just shut down. Nothing's really open, and there's a lot more unease and fear. And so I think the rate of what the cases have come online so far, and really just the change in day to day life, I think the city feels pretty stressed generally, and a lot of people that we know have either been affected or have lost someone in the process. So, city is definitely in a strange place, but God's opened some good opportunities in that. The church is really doing well overall. I think the people in community already have moved closer in community through our online and virtual stuff, right? So for me, so far, I've seen a good, honestly, engagement from people already in community to be on Zoom calls for community group and doing the broadcast type of thing on Sundays and just texting and calling and checking in during the week. And we're seeing good engagement. And so I would say overall, we just have a mixture of people that have been affected. Some have lost jobs and some may lose jobs coming up. And then just, as pastors, you got people that feel stressed and, mental and emotional health and connecting with the Lord. And so a lot of it has been just trying to be pastoral, trying to be consistent in what we're doing. And so I think our church is in a good place. And we see opportunity moving forward after this in the city for the gospel. But overall, it's just a mixed bag. Some people, things are going smooth. Some people are struggling, losing income, having a hard time. And so, yeah, we're doing good. But like anybody, it's just there's more stress and pressure for people day to day than there was even a couple months ago.
Right. Um, how can we, as a church, as a network of friends, how can we help you guys as you move through the rest of the season, and then even looking towards, us coming out of this season? How can we best help you guys?
Yeah. Man, I know it's the church planter answer, but the first one's actually true. We need people to be praying for us. Right now, there's a lot of needs, and you have limited resources and time in the day. And so, just that God would give us wisdom on how best to love and serve people. Coming out of this, how best to leverage opportunity for the gospel in our neighborhood and with people around us. We need, I think, joy in the work. So right now, every day feels kind of the same, and there's not many breaks because weekends and weekdays have no difference right now. And so, yeah, man, just joy in the work, the ability to have wisdom on how to engage people, and then just for our church to, for God to bring people to faith through this. We had our first 2 baptisms in the last few weeks. So, I mean, that's really cool. Even in the middle of pandemic, we're seeing people come to faith, get baptized, and that God would just really, in a lot of ways, exponentially use our church in our space, in our neighborhood, in our city. So prayer would be one, that'd be huge. Secondly, we have a vision for a missional cafe here at Grace that we've worked on for the last several months, almost a year, and have made a lot of progress. And so we're trying to get that finished for a couple different reasons. Number one, we think that it's a way to serve our neighborhood, connect with people that wouldn't come to a church service. You have a lot of kind of post-Christian folks in the neighborhood, people that are interested in the more traditional form of church, but they'll come to a great cafe, they'll come to a great coffee shop. And so gospel relationships can happen in that space, we think, pretty easily. We're going to hire from our neighborhood, especially after this pandemic, hiring people, giving entrepreneurs from our neighborhood a chance to make food and build community and help their families out. And then lastly, long-term financial subsidy. We think it's wise to have that other, thing in place for 5, 10, 15 years from now to be reaching people and at the same time subsidizing our ministry. So we got about $10,000 left to raise for that.
Okay.
And so if people want to give to that, that'd be a huge help. We have a link that I sent over to you to give to Grace Community Church. You can give towards our project. But that's a big part of our missional vision, to reach our neighborhood and to be sustainable long term.
Right.
Then,
Well, what about you? What about you guys personally? How can
yeah,
we help you all, your family, your ministry?
for sure. And yeah, definitely, we're looking to raise some more support personally. Throughout all this, we want to take pressure off of the church and be able to be effective as ministers. And so really raising some more monthly support or some one-time gifts as well towards our personal living expenses would be great, to be able to be fully engaged in this season, and at the same time taking pressure off the church and having more church resource to serve our community and serve people that may not be giving right away and may have a longer financial difficulty coming forward. So we have a link for that as well.
Okay.
If people want to give to us personally, that'd be a huge blessing.
Yeah, that's great, man. Well, I just want to say thanks for all you guys do. I am constantly encouraged by the work that y'all are doing in a pretty, as you said, post-Christian. I know New Orleans pretty well.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that's one word for it, is post-Christian. I think there's a lot of blended cultures, blended ideologies there. Just an incredible place for the gospel to take root. And I just appreciate you guys, your work there, being away from family, especially during this time, that y'all are just sowing seeds of the gospel. And I just really appreciate that. Any last little parting shot that you would have for the network as I kind of share your story with them?
Yeah, man, I think that overall, to be encouraged, I think in the middle of chaos, innovation comes out. And I think we're at a place where if we have open hands and willing to try new things the Spirit's going to lead us into, we can be more effective than we ever have been. But we have to kind of let the fear subside and have hope, and really have just trust in the Spirit that He's going to do something beautiful in this, and there's great leadership and Excel, and in our groups that we're working with, that we have good thinkers and leaders, and let's just work together and trust that God's going to do something really unique through this. So I say be encouraged and press in to your relationships, and try some things that God might be wanting to do in your church.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, I appreciate you. We're praying for you guys. We want to be a help. Hopefully when all this lets up, we'll be having this conversation in person soon in New Orleans.
Yep.
I'd love to check out that cafe. And anyway, this is really cool. Thinking outside the box. So prayers and blessings for Grace, for the Partains. Tell your family we said hello, and we'll be in touch soon.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, man. I appreciate you.
Problem.